The Chicago Bears are playing meaningful football in December for the first time since 2020. And even sitting at 5-8, this team has very high chances at making the playoffs. And if the Bears win this week and get some help from some other teams, Chicago could be at the top of the hunt after week 15. Bears, Browns in Cleveland. The defense's progression since getting Montez Sweat has made them #1 overall over the last 3 weeks. And Justin Fields' progression as well with the offense continues to push this team. There was a lot of factors for this upcoming Sunday's game, especially from the injury report for both teams. And I'm here to break it all down for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Bears are 3-1 in their last 4 games. The Browns are 2-2 in their last 4 games, both coming off week 14 wins. Before we begin today's show, if you are excited about this upcoming Sunday's game for the Bears versus Browns in week 15, smash that like button, especially if you want the Chicago Bears to win, and throw your comments in the comment section below about your predictions of the game. I want to hear how you're feeling about Sunday's game. Today, we're going to be reporting on the current injury report along with matchup rankings, which by the way are crazy close in comparison, especially on the offense and defense over the last 3 weeks, and my 3 keys to the game. So let's start with the injury report, which is very long for both teams and pretty serious for both as well. To start with the Chicago Bears edge, Yannick Ngakoue was placed on season-ending IR with a broken ankle. Yannick suffered it against the Detroit Lions in the recent win this past Sunday, and since Montez Sweat has come to the Chicago Bears, Yannick's been tearing it up, having 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits in the last 4 games. Another big concern for the Chicago Bears that on paper it's very concerning, but I think he is going to play, is wide receiver DJ Moore has an ankle injury. He sustained this as well against the Lions. He was seen in the first half limping on the sideline, but came back into play. I personally think that the Bears are just sitting him to let him get some extra rest right now, and he'll be active for Sunday. Safety Jaquan Brisker, who has been lingering groin injury, was limited at practice at the beginning of the week. The safety is coming off a 17 tackle, 13 solo, 2 pass deflection performance against the Lions. I wish that they would just rest him the whole week so he's ready to go this upcoming Sunday, but man, little scary to see him on the injury report again, but good to also see that he's limited. And wide receiver Equanimeous St. Brown with a pec injury was out last week. Looks like he's going to be out again this upcoming week. The Browns, though, completely different story. First of all, I'm not sure what happened in Cleveland over the weekend, whether they were partying too hard or something, but all these guys were getting some major injuries, a lot being season ending. The first one was right tackle Dawand Jones, who had a knee injury and will require surgery that ends his season. The 4th rounder out of Ohio State was a great depth piece to the Cleveland Browns so far this year, and they're going to miss him tremendously, especially going against Montez Sweat. And even if they were to focus on getting another guy on Montez Sweat, their left tackle is also out with a season-ending knee injury. Left tackle Jarrett Willis is out for the remaining of the season with an MCL tear that required him some surgery. He's been the starter for Cleveland since week 2, another big blow, and Cleveland's on their 3rd string right and left tackle. Going over to the defensive side of the ball, 3 big key factors for the Chicago Bears that could change their game plan. Defensive tackle Maurice Hurst tore his pec, is also out for the season after requiring surgery. The defensive tackle has 22 total tackles and 1.5 sacks for the Browns. And again, like defensive tackles, usually they don't get a lot of sacks, but they are a force up the middle, and he was a big part of their defense. Safety Grant Delpit, who just signed a 3-year, $36 million extension with the Browns, is placed on 4-week IR and could return if Cleveland makes the playoffs. He's having a massive season for them as well, and is going to be a big blow to the secondary. 80 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. The #1 passing secondary in the NFL right now just lost one of its best players and could be a big factor in the game planning. And then finally, the newest injury that came out not too long ago before the recording of this video was edge Ogumenia Akinrasu. I'm not even going to try it, but I threw a picture of him up on the screen. He tore his pec and has been placed on season-ending IR. He has 4.5 sacks for the Cleveland this year, one of their best defensive linemen, another big blow to the defense. So big names on both sides of the ball for both teams this upcoming weekend are going to be missing out on action for sure, and potentially, hopefully DJ Moore is okay to go. But the matchup rankings, it does come into effect as these teams are pretty even. From an offensive standing, the Bears overall offense is ranked 21st against the Browns 19th. The Bears passing is ranked 26th to the Browns 23rd. Bears rushing is 4th to the Browns 7th. The Bears points are 20th to the Browns 12th. Defense is a big factor for this Cleveland team and the Chicago team as of late. The Bears overall defense now is 12th, but they're number 1 over the last 3 weeks. The Browns overall are the first defense in the NFL from a yardage perspective. Bears are ranked 23rd against the pass, but recently has been a lot better, especially in the takeaways. Browns are the number 1 passing defense in the NFL. Bears are the number 2 rushing defense, number 1 over the last 5 weeks in the NFL. Browns rushing 11th overall defense. Bears points allowed 23rd, Browns 14th. Both offenses are very similar in the defensive way they've been playing overall season, and the Bears as of late is also an even matchup. Based on just the rankings, Cleveland is going to want Joe Flacco to air it out, but missing his 2 tackles and on third stringers, along with not being a mobile quarterback at 35 plus, it's not a good sign for him, and it's likely going to be a big rushing day for the Cleveland Browns. Bears also have 9 interceptions over the last 3 games, and they become one of the toughest passing defenses in the NFL as well. Now, if I'm you, Luke Getsy, and if you're listening to this show, listen up and give me a sign this Sunday that you did listen. Pound the rock with D'Onta Foreman against the Cleveland Browns, missing 2 of their better defensive linemen, and they're not as good against the rush. You need to use this guy as much as possible. I'll get more into that in my 3 keys of the game. And it's going to be a super fun game, no matter what. The Bears are riding high right now, and they know they have to keep playing well. And the Browns, I'm wishing all their players a quick recovery, but they're missing some key players, and it's going to be a very even matchup. So my 3 keys to the game. First, like I said earlier a few seconds ago, the Chicago Bears need to pound the rock with all of their running backs, and that'll help with their chance of passing. Cleveland's very tough pass defense will make it tough, and we need to avoid any sort of takeaway or misplays. D'Onta Foreman and company doesn't need to worry about this, though, because they can go up the middle against a weakened Cleveland defensive line. Eberflus kind of hit on it in his presser earlier this week, but I'm going to say it again, is that the defense needs to send everybody on blitz as much as possible. Cleveland is on their 3rd string tackles. Along with that, Montez Sweat is hot. Andrew Billings is hot. Javon Dexter is hot right now. And it's going to be a field day against some 3rd stringers in theory, wishing them the best, but I'm hoping for the better for the Bears. And then finally, the Bears need to use Cole Kmet. Kmet gets short, tough yards for the big man, and that will open up opportunities for other wide receivers, especially if DJ Moore ends up being out. Kmet is averaging 9 yards per catch. We need to use it. So I think it's going to be an overall very balanced game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think Chicago is going to win this one 24-17 on the road in Cleveland to be on a 3-game winning streak, winning 4 of their last 5 and really owning the hunt. Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video if you're excited about this upcoming Sunday's game. And with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Rody, and as always, bear down, baby.